Sanibona emakhaya igama lami Scelo Ngubane. I'm inspirational speaker. Today we have our special guest. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Sanibonani. Igama Senzwesihle Mahlangu, and I normally introduce myself as a simple boy with a very complex vision to achieve before I die. And this vision is in the clothing industry.
Yeah. A very flamboyant and charismatic young person. Let's just start from your journey of you with clothes. When did you find the niche?
So I can't start there, Mr. Ngubane, without taking you through the whole thing.
Yeah.
When I was still doing my grade 8, there were 5 things that I wanted to become.
Okay.
I wanted to be a gastrosurgeon. I wanted to be a professional soccer player. I wanted to have a brand. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and a speaker. Okay. So those 5 things that I grew up with, I then got into a phase where after matric, I couldn't then go study medicine because I couldn't get the bursary to go study medicine in Cuba.
Okay.
And then I scratched that out. Then moved on. Got asked by my mom and my brother, what else do you like? And I said, I like clothing and I love business. So went online, searched UJ, found a course called fashion production. While I chose that and I saw, okay, this is more technical, this is me, because I don't consider myself as creative. So I was like, okay, technical, business, management, clothing, this is me. This is what I'm going to study. And that's when I started that. I started that 2014 to 2016. And then after that, worked in the industry at Edcon before it closed down as a garment technologist. Got frustrated with that and then decided to go to let me start my own brand.
Now the entrepreneur in you was coming.
Yes, now it started there. And nakhona ngile nhlobo engathanda ukuthatha ama instructions kaningi.
Okay. You want to give them.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, not even give them, but kind of persuade you towards them.
Okay.
I'm that kind of a leader. I'm not going to say to you, do this. I'm going to like, don't you think?
Yeah, as if it's come from the person.
Yeah, don't you think?
It's your idea that you want to follow me.
Exactly.
But I'm going to make you to follow me.
At the end of the day, you do what I want you to do.
You were also part of the Blessed Young Generation Teenagers program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back then, I wow, you remember.
I have a very good memory. In fact, I used to think I have memory like elephant. But
I never thought I was a leader.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you and Usam Mkhunu, Pastor Sam Mkhunu, actually brought out of me, because I never considered myself a leader of a lot of people, and especially teenagers at the time, because I thought to myself, what's so special about me? Why me? Why are these guys choosing me? I mean, there's other smarter guys, there's other more extroverted people. So, but working in that group made me develop a lot of skills and leadership skills that I now possess, that I'm still getting sharpened even till this day.
Wow.
So it was really a privilege and an honor, because because remember back then I was very dark and I had this complex about myself. So I didn't want to be around a lot of people. I didn't want to be in the limelight, because I thought of myself as, this boy is not even cute. This boy is not even nice looking. He's not even handsome. So what is he going to tell us? How is he going to lead us in a way that changes our lives? And I guess this is what we actually got to learn here. That's why we're here.
Yeah. I think also, reflecting on you as a leader, is that the fact that you were identified at the time is because you could lead yourself.
Yeah.
One thing about you, you're not like a bamboo that moves with the wind.
No.
You could stand alone. And I thought this courage of a person standing alone, ibuyapi up until this far. And I think that was so encouraging of you. To be able to stand alone, it's a strength.
It is. But
a big part.
Yeah, it is. But it is a skill and something that you develop over time.
Okay.
Being alone, I mean, I would consider myself an introverted extrovert.
Okay, it's an ambivert. There's a word for it.
An ambivert.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm when I'm in the midst of people, I forget everything and I'm just in the midst of people. When I'm alone, that's
when I forget about people.
I forget about people and I'm focused on myself.
Wow.
So I think that's where a lot of things come from. And ngiyakhuluma ke nami mina alone.
Wow.
A lot of times.
You have a relationship with Senzo.
Yes, we are. I believe in Christianity. So ngifuna ukugisa in the beginning when he said, "Let us."
Okay.
Bekayone. Besingekho thina. The angels not even there. He was speaking alone uNkulunkulu at the time in his Trinity. He's talking alone. Three personalities is talking alone. And I took it from there. It's okay. If this guy can talk alone, surely there's nothing wrong with Kulmuiwan.
Ukuhlanya okurayit lokho.
Yeah, yabo. And that's why even in my hood, they know ukuthi awlo ocula loud, ahamba lapha estradini akhuluma, and I'm okay with that because I'm
you
having
have accepted
conversations.
ukuthi abantu banokubona ukhuluma uyi-one and you don't have a
I'm
problem.
okay with that.
Oh wow.
Because there's also becoming a speaker. Yangithola? So that thing says to me, I create scenarios in my head where I'm in a large crowd.
Wow.
And I'm speaking. And I need to be as eloquent as I can be. And how best to be eloquent than speaking alone?
Wow.
When there's no one around.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know when I remember you spoke in another event, I was not there. Sisepi, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
He heard you speak there and he said, this young man is going to be one of the great speakers. I said, Senzo. I can't wait to hear him speak. Sisepi. So that comes with you taking it serious. I mean, excuse me, most of the time before you people will see you as a public speaker.
Yeah.
They don't know what happens behind the scenes, that you find yourself speaking in the mirror, you find yourself crying and shaking alone there before you give them the deliverables.
Exactly. Doing research. I mean, when was this? This is a Saturday. This recent Saturday, Sibuyaguyo, I was invited to speak to a youth,
Okay.
And the topic was, I just need to share my career.
Oh, okay.
I then was like, okay, no. Instead of me sharing about my career, because I don't think it's that interesting. What I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the will and the purpose of God over your life.
Oh, wow.
And then I went back and then I started and I researched and I shared on Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 28,
yeah.
where he tells us. And I've now taken 4 things out of that God says to us way before he even creates us. If you want to find your purpose, just fulfill all these 4 things. And what are those things? He says to us, be fruitful. What does being fruitful mean? It means produce or become something. So I asked him a question, what do you think God is? And then I'm like, God is the Father. And I'm like, but what if I told you God is an architect? What if I told you God is a designer? What if I told you that God is a psychologist? And what God simply says when he says be fruitful, uthi vula amehlo, bheka, khetha ukuthi ufuna ukuba yini. If you want to be a content creator, choose that.
Wow.
If you want to make chairs and tables, choose that. uNkulunkulu akathi kuwe Ngubane wena uzoba a motivational speaker. No. You chose that. Because you did self-introspection. You opened your eyes and you chose, this is me. This is what I'm going to do. And that's what God says to us. So I get a lot of people when they're trying to find their purpose looking outside. In fact, God says just
inside.
look. Look. I'm everywhere. If you want the best psychologist, God is the best psychologist. If you want the best doctor, God is the best doctor.
Oh, wow.
If you want a speaker, he's the best speaker. So just decide, and then this next step, he says, multiply. What does multiply mean? It is to expand.
Oh, wow.
So whatever that you've chosen to become, expand on it. I made this example, Uguti. If you choose to be an accountant, what's the next step? To be a chartered accountant. You're expanding on your knowledge of accountancy. So the third thing that he says, fill the earth and subdue it. And what does that mean? He's calling now us into economy where we sell and buy.
Oh, wow.
So after you have become you've chosen to be an architect and you've expanded on it, and then he says, now sell yourself. Now you sell yourself to a company and they pay you a salary. That's him involving you in economy. So the fourth thing he says, have dominion. And when he says have dominion, he says now dictate the value, because in the previous stage, they dictated to you how much you're worth. Now you are at a point that you need to dictate how much you're worth.
Oh, wow.
And control the supply chain.
I hope they paid you for that. I will pay for such a content.
I did it for free.
That was so powerful. The value of this is embodied in you in years of your life as a Christian.
Yes.
And I now in business and your Christianity,
Yes.
where do you find maybe a connection?
So when I started this whole thing, when I've been searching for my purpose and everything, God says to me that you need to alleviate poverty on the continent of Africa. He didn't say Europe. He didn't say Asia. He said on the continent of Africa. That's a colossal purpose to fulfill. And he says you are there to create meaningful employment. Not only are you just going to create employment, but meaningful employment, and you're going to create a community of people who believe in me as God, and you're going to build that kingdom. So when others are called into pastorhood and developing the body of Christ, I'm called into business to develop the body of Christ.
Wow.
So that's what I do. That's what I'm here to do. And when I'm not saying we're not going to hire people who believe in Allah.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that this business is going to be structured. The business model is going to be structured on principles that I've gotten from my religion, which is Christianity.
Oh, wow. Now, let's speak about Kotin. You and Kotin.
Yeah.
Take us through that process. What was the first thing you designed and who was wearing it? Was it for yourself or
So the first thing that I made let me go back now a couple of years, 2015, when I was doing my second year at UJ.
Yeah.
And then I had this epiphany of start a business. And the first thing that I made were waistcoats.
Okay.
Because I felt okay, cool. I can be creative in this thing because everybody does suits, everybody does shirts, everybody does trousers, but we don't see creative waistcoats. And that's when I started that business. And I made the sample. Obviously, I had to wear it.
Okay.
Because ngiyathunga umama ngesandla.
Okay.
Because I was abengakwazi ukuthunga. So ngiyenza fashion but angikwazi ukuthunga, ngiyele ngakufundela ukuthunga.
Okay.
So that's the first part of it. Be fruitful, produce or become something.
Okay.
So I'm one of those who became. Because those abantu bathi no mina ukuthunga ngivele ngakwazi angiyanga esikolweni nanani. Mina I had to go to school to learn it. So the journey was then started that 2015 starting ngama waistcoat. I mean there's a popular one, X Factor, and not everyone has it because I got a lot of likes on that one. But people were not bold enough to wear it then. Okay. Because they thought of it too fashion forward. Okay. So now it's one of the archives that I go back to and then say, well, I started here to this whole journey. So, and there's the evolution that started from there. I don't consider myself as a creative. I pay attention to detail. Yeah. So I'm very good with combining certain details. So I can look at you and say, okay, leo kola leo nale saskwama lesa manga zihlanganisa into one. They can create something nice. Okay. So I'm not one who's gonna say, okay, maybe so na la na. No. I just look at details and then combine them.
Oh wow! So now looking back at that journey,
I don't know if I answered you.
Yeah, you did in so many ways. Yeah. And you've also satisfied the other question I wanted to ask. How did you feel after creation? Because normally after you have put out something, you look at the response to say, how do people receive it and measure, do I want to continue with this or I want to call it a quit? Not quit.
So when people are not fashion forward or fashion bold, I would say fashion bold because some people will be like, yeah, I wouldn't wear a red suit. I'm like, but why not? You know? So they're not bold enough. So that's where I come in. I'm like, motivate you. I'm like, you can rock red. Yeah. With your skin tone, I can persuade you. Okay. Don't you think? Don't you think?
Your persuasion skills.
Exactly. Yeah. So when people didn't order the design that I put out, in the back of my mind, I was like, are you even in the right industry? Okay. Are you even doing the right thing? But going back again, but this is what I wanted to do. And Nakona, I'm running a business. So if this one doesn't work, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So now that's when I designed another one.
Okay.
where people were like, okay, cool. Now this we can wear. Yeah. So now they are fashion accommodative.
Yeah.
Young Tol. So it is that whole drive of saying, do it again.
So
but do it
who's your
different.
target?
I would like to say, when I started the business back then, I was mostly doing things for men.
Okay.
And the brand grew from that, basically.
Yeah, because I remember you were so
because
much about us and budget.
Yeah, because in all honesty, South African men, sorry if this may come judgmental, South African men are not conscious about how they look.
Oh yeah, clumsiness and
They don't care because like we look at men, we compare in retrospect. Guti, look at men from Italy. They never go out of the house. Bangas good again. They never go out of the house. But iskipa si yellow ne brugu eli green. Never. Unless if he finds a way
theme, yeah.
of coordinating them. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
ungaboni amakhala, but you see the style. So they also pay attention to the detail of the clothing.
Wow.
And the cleanliness as well. So the business started from that. I wanted to make men in South Africa be conscious of how they look, because how you look determines how people treat you.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of people who respect me, even elderly people, just because of how I present myself. Coming on my way here, Konili Ntamelele la misi moto lati, ntwana uyaphi ugcoke smart so.
Oh wow.
I was like, ngiyaku interview at ntwana good luck.
Oh wow.
And this is an old guy. How many boys has he passed along the way and he didn't compliment? Because we think clothing is just nje ugcoka.
Phela sibe emabheshwini
Yeah, but the patient corner has a certain style.
Oh
to
yeah.
it.
Yeah. You
So-
would just not wear
Exactly.
anywhere.
Awugqoki ibheshu nje.
Yeah.
Young Tol, you wanted a specific type, ya guphi so that it sits
Nesinene
nice.
sakhona,
Exactly.
I
And the
get you.
comfortability of it as well. So it is not just clothing, it is a way of presenting yourself to the world. And
Wow.
how you present yourself to the world matters a lot to me. So that's where I actually started saying, I'm going to focus on boys.
You have so much business to do. I mean,
There is. I mean, there's a lot of seminars that we can do to teach men how to wear, what to wear, how to wear it, when to wear it, because there's another thing. But yeah, I believe that we're gonna get there, and that's one of the objectives of the business is to
Wow.
teach people. So teach men how to dress.
Wow.
And not just nje ukuthi kuthengisele impahla and make a profit, but also tell you ukuthi okay, njengoba uyithengile lento leyo ungayigcoka so, uyiwashe so, ungayiwashi so. All that information, obviously you need to pay for it, because now we're in an era where you pay for everything.
Sure.
And yeah, so
Your beautiful office at Springs, I went there the other day. I was
Yes.
moved. A big studio. I was like, wow.
yeah. That was in partnership with the ladies that I was working with at the time that you saw me with
Yeah.
there. So, sorry, you didn't get to ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to say your experience there, because that studio, I think, really spoke volume of the kind of business that you're building.
Yes. So being there for me, partnering with those women, and I thank them even till this day for the opportunity to do business, because mina ngingene ngoba bona sebalapha.
Oh, okay.
So it was that partnership. It's okay, thina sesinayo indawo, so you can come
yes.
on board.
Wow.
Yes. So that's how I also got into the mall, Springs Mall. It was through that partnership with these ladies. So that opened my mind, and it made me revitalized every morning. Nguthi uyavuka, you are going to this
Uyasebenza.
big studio. And that's when I was there, BC3. But I imagined that place filled with machines and everybody working, minding their business, ensuring good people are getting dressed and not just dressed, but dressed according to their personalities. That's one of the aspects of the brand. Is we don't just dress you, but we dress your character.
Okay.
So this is why you get once-off stuff with us. That's why you get customized stuff. Okay, ngiyafuna lesa slamba saka Senzo, mara ngiyifuni lento le. That's when we do it for you without this thing.
Okay.
Because when you are Scelo and you have your own personal taste, and we are trying to develop that, because at the end of the day, you need to present your character,
Wow.
and that's what we cater for.
It's maybe the tailor-made for you.
It's bespoke.
Wow. So now, your courage, man.
Yes.
You're very courageous. And also, one thing that I think I respect about you, you're a young person, but your courage is the one of David Ngempela. Where does it come from?
Honestly, I've never asked myself that question, and I don't want to lie. But let me jog down my memory so that I grew up in a home of creatives. My mom is in the catering industry.
Okay.
My brother is in the space of music and sound and graphic design. My sister is just handy in handcrafted stuff.
Okay.
So seeing them and sorry, I'm sorry, my mind is busy working. So where did that come from? The courage also comes from my brother, because I've seen my brother struggling. I've seen my brother doing what he loves, choosing what he loves, and taking control of it and saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
And I remember when my mom tried to get him a job, a hi-fi corp back then, he worked and it was like, yeah, afuna ukuyenza lento le. Naye afuna ukuyenza music. And then he went on and he had a studio, and okay, now he's closed down. Now he's moved into graphic design. So that courage of saying, this is what I want to do and stick to it. I could say I took it from him because he's one person who has a very strong will. And if he says something, he says it. And if for example, if azoti angifuna abantwana, umile lapho uthi akufuna abantwana. None of his friends can convince him otherwise.
Wow.
And he loves kids. He takes care of kids in the neighborhood. He loves kids. Kids love him. But he just doesn't want to have of his own.
Wow.
And that will and that drive, I think I take it from him as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's very encouraging that you stick to your guns. People can count on you when it counts.
Yes.
That mawuthezwe nzinto uzoyenza. I was looking forward to this interview because I knew one way or the other, whether it rains or storm, you'll be here. Because you always being a leader. That's why I said the first person you led was Senzo.
Yeah.
So it was easy for anybody else to follow you.
Also, Mr. Ngubane, remember how you deal with people or how you respond to them. That's the same way they're going to respond to you. So if you call me and say, ngo 9:30, melubela, I make sure I get here at 9. Young child.
Okay.
Even though we're going to start 10. But if we're going to 9:30, I'm going to come 30 minutes earlier.
Wow.
Because I respect your time and I want you to respect my time as well.
Wow.
Whenever I say, Mr. Ngubane, your fitting is at 10, please get here.
At 10.
Not even at 10, 9:30.
9:30. Okay.
I'm not going to say
30 minutes earlier.
Yes, all the time, every time. Because I know good after this fitting, you have other things to do.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to respect that. And how best to respect other people than you respecting them first.
Wow. So your brand is going Africa now.
Yes.
In the next few years, we're gonna see Senzos only in Nigeria, Algeria.
So now this is something that people don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
That the business is not just the brand.
Okay.
So the business is only the fourth leg of the whole business. So the business is Senzwesihle Holdings.
Okay.
And Senz only is a daughter company of Senzwesihle.
Oh.
So initially there's 4. I want to control the whole supply chain of the clothing industry. Remember?
Okay.
So now the whole supply chain of the clothing industry entails I need to own farms where I plant my own cotton and I have merino sheep that I grow for the wool. That I have all these raw materials that I own.
Wow.
I need to have a textile mill to convert these raw materials. And the textile mill converts the cotton into a cotton fabric. So not only sphelela lapho, I want to have a manufacturing factory that is going to take that fabric and then make clothing.
Wow.
And then this is now Sense Only, where the brand, the outlet. So it is the agricultural, the conversion and the textile of it, and then the manufacturing, which is we make the garments, and then the distribution, which is the brand.
Wow.
So people know the brand. They don't know all the others, but I'm yet to go into that. So when I say Africa, maybe ungathola ukuthi the cotton that we make our shirts and our t-shirts from is actually planted in Angola. So we own that farm in Angola that we plant these things, and then we have a mill in Ghana.
Oh wow.
That we convert now this cotton plant into the fabric, and then we have the factory all over.
Wow.
Where it's in Rwanda or South Africa.
Yeah.
But all the outlets are gonna be all over because we want to create meaningful employment and the alleviation of poverty in the continent of Africa.
Yeah, I want to come to the sensitive part of this because, like I said, you're a young person and we have a lot of institutions in South Africa that are supposed to be supporting entrepreneurs because it is only through entrepreneurs that we can create jobs.
Yes.
I think that is the niche of the system that when we have entrepreneurs are going to create jobs and people are going to be able to receive jobs.
Yeah.
Have you been assisted by NYDA or anybody?
Honestly, Mr. Ngubane, no. There's two folds into this whole thing, which why not?
Yeah.
When I was still studying, my mom lost her job way back 2009. So ngikhula nje ngiya nasesikoleni, there's no money, right? There's a limited amount of money. So I get to study my whole 3 years AUJ without funding. I tried and applied going for NFSAS, they didn't take me. I don't know why. Tried to get student bursaries or study bursaries, and none of them came to the party. I gave up on the system of going to look for funding and become a person of self-funding. Do it yourself.
Okay.
Hence, I started the business when while I was still in university. Let me try sell stuff so that I can pay for my fees, pay for my transportation and such things. Because that system hurt me badly. Angisafuna ukudependa kuyo. Now, after this, now in the business sense, people would say, why don't you go to NYDA? I'm like, I don't want to go there because I don't believe in that whole system. It didn't work out for me back then.
Sure.
Also, there is this whole thing that I prayed about. Now, this is now the spirituality side of the second fold of it. God says to me, don't look for funding. I'm going to fund it myself. So this colossal thing, he says, is going to fund himself. So does it then mean that I need to learn the procedures of business until I know balance sheet how to gain and build capital alone through the profits of the business, so that the business, again, why he says to me, don't look for funding, I'm going to grow it as God, is because I don't want anybody outside to say I
made
that.
You. Oh yeah.
Young child. So angifuna umuntu azoba neclaim yokuthi inje usizo lwami. No. Inje, because God wanted it to be like that, and it was only there because of the diligence and the consistency that I as the leader have, and the people that supported me and bought the stuff, their loyalty and their consistent purchases. That's how we got to build this business. I want to attribute it back to the people and not just a certain organization that's going to say you are like this because of us. Because
I get you.
You know how people are. They would want favors. If I give you 50,000, make sure that you give me 20,000. And then Kanti, what's the whole purpose? Because I need the whole 50. You know? We can't lie and beat around the bush. We are living in a very corrupt ecosystem. So one of the things, as the guy Ukalaza said in one of the interviews, Uguti, do it yourself first before you can ask people to come on board. Yeah.
That's a very strong, bold, and courageous character, or I will say principle that you have adopted. Now, looking at the current status quo, what are you busy with now?
Now, I honestly, Now, there has been an increase and a retraction, a decrease in how things have panned out for me. I was in a studio, the studio that we talked about. Now that I'm back at home.
Okay.
So that decline happened. A lot of adjustments happened. Now I'm at a point where even home, I need to move. So that's where I'm currently at now. I'm at a point where I need to leave home and put myself outside because home is not home anymore. That's a story for another day, maybe.
Yeah.
So angisakwazi ukusebenzela ekhaya because of certain reasons. So now I'm in the process of moving, finding a space, because one of the coreness of this business, Senzwesihle Holding, is that I've been in the mall, I've seen how it functions, I've seen the rent, and I'm like, no, this is not how we get the land back. How we get the land back is we go back in our certain neighborhoods, get a house, convert it into a studio. Gube branch as a Davton. Go etema, get a house, convert it into a studio, go branch as a Tema. And that's how I believe we're gonna take back the land or get the land back, because we're not supposed to be violent. But I mean,
You believe in persuading.
Exactly.
So in a nice way.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
so let us take it back economically in a way that makes sense. So that's how I structure this whole business, and that's what I want to do. That's why you will never see our brand in a mall. And it's okay. Other brands can go into a mall, but that's not us. Our vision is to go where the people are and create a meaningful employment there.
You're touching something very, very controversial.
Yeah.
In terms of malls, I with the experience that I've had working in Europe, there are no malls there. Exactly what you are saying, that they will convert a house and make it a bakery.
Yes.
And have some who specialize in bread in that community.
Exactly.
And that is how it grows the community.
Exactly.
I think the fundamental thing about us as South Africans is that we have a lot of people who want to remain with the status quo.
Yes.
That they don't want us to unlearn certain things, to say malls are not working.
Yeah.
Because it's a chain. It's you owning all the malls. You don't have a mall that is owned by Usenzo. You have malls that are owned by particular, people.
What I believe in is instead of us going to the malls, because whether we like it or not, the malls are not in places where they are easily accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
Even for the one person who can't start getting to their car and go to the mall. I mean, I'm thinking about long agwazi drive, maruzo kongus access. They can simply walk to us.
Wow.
I mean, so I believe, Uguti, if we can come, this is an initiative that you actually had not so long ago. Come together, find a space as young people in the community, and have our different shops in that one complex.
Yeah.
Build one ourselves, because we know our people. We know what our people like.
Yeah.
And remember what I said, the brand is about building the character of the person. So angeke ngisuke lana ngiyolanda designer yase Tema izodictatela umuntu ase Daveyton ukuthi agcoke kanjani.
Sure.
They're two different neighborhoods, and the people there are different as well. How much isn't it better ukuthi udesignelwa usibuda ohlala ngale kule nkambi le osibudo uyakubona every day ukuthi hayi mara ithanda into so mayizile kithi, this is what we're going to design for him. Unlike ngithathe usibongile from eduduza azokenzela something. Yes, you need that. That's now how we're going to keep the business alive, that interchanging of employees when we get to that stage ukuthi okay, izani ngapha nizofunda la bantu bangapha, nani ngale yanifunda nilapha, but manifika ngale niba fundise ukuthi ngale la sibuya khona benza so.
Wow.
La nisuka khona nina benza kanjani. So that's the whole kind of philosophy around the whole business.
And also, I think I respect the fact that you have thought a lot about the business. I mean, the supply chain.
I know my business in and out.
Yeah.
Even though people may say, but asiboni, but I know it.
You know it.
I know it.
And it starts there,
Yep.
It starts from the mind, it starts from the thinking, putting together the ideas and all of that. So what could be the challenges in the business or in you as an entrepreneur? I know we spoke about the fact that you are a human being. Turbulence there and there. But what else is there? Maybe some of the young entrepreneurs.
So there is this thing that people maybe are not aware of. Uguti, business wants you to be able to control your hunger, control your stomach. Okay. I would say if ugwazi control isisu sakho, then you're going to be a good entrepreneur.
What does it mean?
Because you are going to be exposed to people who are saying to you, go find employment. Why? Because awuna moto, awuna ndlu, awugcoki impahla ezidurayo, you don't have a nice cologne. So employment is going to give you all those things easy. So isisu says, amara ngilambile ngcono ngiyo-applya. But entrepreneur says, no, withstand it, drink water. Continue focusing here. Yes, it's not giving you all this lifestyle now, but it will surely give you that lifestyle. So business is about creating a strong will, strong enough to withstand hunger. So I've gotten a lot of my friends. My friends, some of them are married, they have their own apartments, they have their own cars and whatsoever. So isisu sami sithi ngiyayifuna lento le. But I need to say, my mind, tell my stomach ukuthi uzoyithola lento le, but not now.
In due time.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's why I would say entrepreneurship teaches you how to control and manage isisu sakho.
I as I'm listening to you, I see the metrics of how your faith has also assisted you. Was not fastly business.
Yeah.
Okay.
My faith is the core of the person that I am. And you see certain traits in it in the business as well. Because I was introduced into faith at a very young age. So all that I know is this faith thing. And without it, I don't think I would have survived, because there are certain things that I look at in the world and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. But when I look at my faith, then it brings sense to
it
the
works
things
together
that I
for
see.
your good.
Exactly. So I'm not shoving my faith down on anybody. All I'm saying is that it's working for me.
Yeah.
And if you want to try it out,
it might work for you as well.
It might work for you.
That is what advocating for something means. That
Yeah.
if it works, we don't take gimmicks where
No.
you take, maybe it's you say it works for me.
It works for me. So I am the brand ambassador of saying this works. But for me.
Thank you for choosing that word, ambassador, because you stand for it. You say,
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that I know.
Ngiyazi ukuthi mangiyohlala ngedolo and spend prayer and spend time in prayer and reading the word and being diligent, I know he's gonna answer me. Whether 10 years, 5 years, an hour, a second from now that I make the prayer, he is gonna answer me. Young tall. That's why I don't engage in debates about spirituality and all those things. That's why I don't.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah, when I get a lot of people like, yeah, but let this abelung. I'm like, okay, it's fine, but it's working for me. Leave it alone. It's working for me. Yeah, Mara, it strips us from our African roots. I'm like, okay, but I haven't lost my Africanness, so I'm okay. I'm okay. Angithi ngoba wena uyahlaba and then mina ngihlabi bese ngithi wrong lento yakho. No. I'm saying if it works for you,
be an ambassador for it.
If it works for you, sell it to the people.
Wow. Now, I would like us to go towards, in conclusion of our discussion.
Yeah.
And one thing that I really honor about you is the discipline, the consistency. The flamboyance, I think it was just given to you.
Yeah, I think so. The charisma.
The charisma. I think it was just a bonus to you. So the business itself, as you are going, what can you say to young people about my entrepreneurs Ekaya, who some of them are doubting themselves? The first thing that you said, I was really shocked that you said you didn't believe in yourself because you didn't show it. I was like, this guy, when did he not believe in himself?
Let me answer that question quickly before siqhubeka.
Yeah.
My mom always told me ukuthi ungayivezi inhlupheko yakho ngaphandle.
Oh, wow.
So if you step out of that door, give people what you want them to see and not what's happening.
Oh, wow.
So I may be
What a powerful woman.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten out of the house. Ngizobuya futhi ebusuku ngingadlanga outside. But I don't go around telling people ukuthi yazi mina ngivuke ngomntoko and anginamali. Yangithola into le. Because when I go out there, you don't want to see that. Because what is it going to do for you? Ukuthi usenzo uvuke ngomntoko. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. But seeing me saying it's possible, we can do it. Even though it doesn't matter what you're doing. If I was younger, it's okay. Thatha umlomo. Phuza amanzi. Uzoba right.
Wow.
Angekufa. People, men shall not live on bread alone.
Yeah. That's Roman. Is it Matthew 4? I love that. I love that.
Men shall not live on bread alone. So,
Yeah.
so that's what it is. Ukuthi abantu abangaboni izinto anyeke ba benefits from zone.
Yeah.
Yes, some would say ukuthi, but I get encouraged knowing ukuthi ubuya in what kind of background.
Context.
But at the end of the day, that context needs to be delivered when you come closer to me, and then I get to expose who I really am to you. Because whether we like it or not, Mr. Ngubane, not everybody's got to like you. So if you go around telling people or showing people ukuthi your enemy is looking at you. I'm like, nazo. Target. So I don't want you to have any target. But instead of what I present, you may say, this guy's arrogant. It's okay. But to me, it's not arrogance, it's confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a perspective thing. So shift your paradigm.
Yeah.
So, that's what I believe, Uguti. You don't need to know about that until you get closer to me and you say you really want to know. And then I'll let you know.
You're so powerful, man.
I try.
No, you're so powerful. I wish we had more time and and wisdom that you have.
Next time. I mean, we can have these conversations till the moon and the sun comes back up again.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, we need to make sure the message is driven out there to say it is possible. It may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. But it will happen. I mean, like I was mentioning you off camera, ukuthi Mfundisi Steve says, sizowakha isakhiwo.
Yeah.
Akashongo ukuthi nini. Mara isakhiwo sizowakhiwa at the end of the
Consistency of the word.
Yeah.
It will happen.
It will happen.
So what can you say to the entrepreneurs there, your last words of encouragement?
One thing, learn how to manage your stomach. And we've explained that. Also, decide and focus, because there's a lot of things that are going to come and sway you. And I mean, me to this day, I have friends who still say, Dota, na vacancy apply. But now the character says, I don't want to apply. But I don't want to also say to you, I'm like, I'm going to be, okay, I'm going to apply. But however, young told, I'm focused on this, and I want, if this opportunity maybe gives me a freelance kind of thing or a collaboration, then I'm willing to look into it. But for employment, thank you very much. That's not me.
Yeah.
So that's also what business teaches you: communication, being able to shasha abantu ngendlela right.
Yeah.
So consistency, be rooted in what you believe in, and also pace yourself.
Wow.
Pace yourself. Pace yourself means that if Ngubane starts a business 2022 and it makes millions in 2023, doesn't mean that me as Usenzo can have a business 2022 as well and it's going to do the same. I may get my million 10 years from now.
Wow.
And I need to be satisfied with that. Because what do you do with your million after you've got it after a year? Is different to what I'm going to do with my million if I get it after 10 years. Because maybe after 10 years, I can say, Pelil, God forbid, young tall. where now I'm at a point where I get mine and I'm like, remember that business idea that you had 10 years ago? Let's refund it.
Wow.
You never know. So the timing of everything is very important. So pace yourself. Pacing yourself goes back to the stomach thing,
Yeah.
being able to withstand it. And the last thing I would say is that don't be in fashion, but be the fashion.
Yeah.
My
Your
hashtag.
motto, yeah.
Yes. And what that means is that do you, be you. Doesn't matter. There's only one you. And serve as you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
And because you are you don't need to have even a shift because you are you 24/7.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Because there's something that sorry, unkate makube sekumele isikhathi.
No,
Because
continue.
I can go all day.
Yeah.
Because we are saying Uguti, you decide when to step in, right? But we also need to know Uguti, the environment also decides when you step in, because you might not be ready for what you want to step into.
Sure.
I mean, I could apply for funding now, today, with the plan that I have, drafted down everything, can get someone who's gonna say, or TTI, they're gonna say we're gonna give you 3 million to fulfill this, and I'm not ready.
It's premature.
Yes. So ensure that if you are now going to move into the next step, that what you want to do in the next thing, in the next phase of your life, ensure that you are equipped for it. Because if you are not, it's going to kill you.
Oh, wow.
And mase ikubulala, uzobuya kithi futhi. Uthi ya mara. Abantu vele bangithanda. Kanti you were not ready
You're not
for
ready
that
for
next
it.
level.
Yeah.
So pace yourself. Ensure that when you enter into that stage, you are equipped for it.
And it's yours.
It's yours because, I mean, no one else can do Scelo Ngubane best than Scelo Ngubane. I mean, I can act like Scelo Ngubane, but I'm not him. And he can't be me. Because I always say this, Uguti, whatever that I go through, you can't go through it.
Yeah.
Whatever you go through, I can go through it. So I need to respect you as a person who's able to withstand so much pain in these areas that I learn from you. So that if it happens that I find myself in that same place that you have conquered from, I am able to succeed as well.
This is Senzo Mahlangu. They say Senzwesihle Mahlangu.
Mahlangu.
They say the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. And thank you for starting. I hope Emakaya you are inspired. I hope you are revived. I hope you are restored as well. With so much intelligentsia in the room, I believe that we have gained something for our mind so that we can do better. We are a country that so many people are looking at us and what we do. And we are so inspired to have the groundbreakers, Senzo here. Thank you very much and may God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Mr. Ngubs.